right, guys, right now I just want to share with you a little bit about how a year ago an amazing gift was made to our church that enabled us as a church to establish what we are calling our Capital Ministry Fund. If this is not something you're familiar with, I encourage you to give me a call here at the church. I'd love to give you more detail about it. But since May of this year, May of 2010, we've had a group of people, our Capital Fund team, that has been meeting twice a month, praying, discussing, learning together, growing in our understanding of spiritual discernment, and looking at how God would lead us to address, to use, to be stewards of this capital fund that we have, that God has brought to us through the amazing generosity of a family in our church. Now, I'm not going to go into a whole lot of detail right here because I just don't have enough time, but I'm going to post, there's a PDF posted here below this video that's a synopsis of the initial recommendations, okay, initial recommendations that have come out of our team for us to start as a church now to further pray about, seek discernment, and explore how we would be good stewards of this fund that God has brought to us. Now, have a little bit of fun with this just to whet your appetite on it, because really what we're going to be doing is looking for your input, your responses to the initial ideas that our team has come up with. I really do encourage you, if God puts something on your heart, if you have any ideas or input for us, let us know. You can call me. Again, I'm about to be out of town for 2 weeks, but email the church office, give me a call after our India mission team comes back, talk to me in December. We want to get your input. But anyway, to start to get us thinking, what I'm going to do right now is take you on a tour of our church property, because one of the things that our capital ministry team has recommended, our ministry fund team has recommended, is to do a ministry analysis, a spiritual analysis, a facilities analysis of all the resources that we have here. What is God doing through us now? How do we see that growing? Where do we see God taking us in the ministry and the work that he is doing, and looking at the property that we have here, all of the resources, all the facilities that we have, how can we best be stewards of them, and might there be something that God would lead us to use part of this capital fund for that may impact or address the facilities that we have here at the church. I'm going to bet that some of you are going to be surprised by what I'm about to show you of the scope of the resource of land and facilities that God has given us here at our church, our physical church here in Edwards. So that's what we're going to do now. I hope you enjoy this. It might be interesting. Here we go. Okay, most of y'all are familiar with the land that we have here, our main building and the cabin. But that's really not all that we have. So what we're going to do is take you on a quick walk through, a quick look at the bigger picture of the property that we have here at the church that God has blessed us with. So we have the main building, the cabin, and what we're going to do, we're going to start by heading over to the west end of our property. All right, so come on and we'll take a look. All right. Now, that was a long walk. Now, what I'm going to ask Jason to do, we're here on the west end of our property. Right here, these are parts of the lower Homestead community. There's the Edwards Business Center right here below us. And as Jason pans around and looks back to the east, you'll see that we're a good ways from the church. We actually have two parcels here, two parcels of land. We're on the westernmost parcel that is part of the Homestead subdivision here in Edwards. And so you can see the end of the church, our playground there. But man, lots of ground here. Who knows what we would ever do with this? God does. And that's what we want to listen to him so we can figure that out. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go all the way back to the far end, to the east end of the property, and you'll be able to have a bit of an idea of really the resource that God has made us stewards of here at our church. Okay, so let's head on back. We'll try not to slip in the snow. Let's go. We're not even halfway yet. All right here is the property line between our western parcel and our eastern parcel. And so what we're doing now, we're crossing onto the piece of ground. It's a 3-acre square that's just part of the unincorporated county. So once we cross this line, we're out of the Homestead subdivision and just moving into Eagle County. Let's keep going. Okay, well here we are on the eastern end of our property, and this is a survey stake. By the way, if you ever want to kind of freak out your neighbors, just put a survey stake in your yard. Anyway, right over here we have the foundation. We're building a new sign, entry sign for our property here. A couple of years ago, someone donated some money so that we could put a new sign here, so that's what that is. And we have a cell tower right here. We get a little bit of revenue through the year off of the cell tower that's on our property. But again, you can look all the way to, hey, here comes somebody, probably visiting the Salvation Army. But if you look all the way down at, to the far end of our property, you might be able to see the church van down there to give you a sense of scale of how much distance we've covered. Well, here's what we're going to do now. We're going to walk down the hill down to the, let me see, that would be the northern edge of our property, so we can look back up at the cabin and get a sense of how deep this square is right here. All right, let's go again. Okay, all right, well guys, here we are, give or take a few feet. This is the northern bottom edge of this parcel of land that we have here. So again, Jason, the sun's going to darken it a bit, but Jason's going to pan. You can see our main chapel building and the cabin that's sitting right up here above us. So this gives you a sense, again, the resource that we have here. We've been blessed with this, and who knows, it may be that the time God is leading us to a time to really pull ourselves together and pray and walk this property and think about how God would have us continue to be good stewards of this resource that He has provided for us. So I know a lot of y'all aren't that familiar with, in fact, some of you who are part of our church every week are going to be amazed by the size of our property here. So I wanted to let you know that, and we're going to head on back in now. So let's go. This is the original playground of the church. We cleaned it all off last summer. Some of you may remember the video of that. But right now, all of this turf area through here is just an area during the summer and the winter. Our kids just have open space to run and to play and do all sorts of stuff. Let's keep going. Okay, well guys, that's the tour around the property. Hopefully maybe that gets some of your creative juices flowing. Listen, what we're going to do in January, beginning of next year, we're going to pull together our church, anybody and everybody who is interested in being a part of this, and I hope it's you. We're going to start to brainstorm, pray, looking at all of our facilities, all of our resources, and how God is going to lead us and call us. Again, I've used the word a lot, but to be good stewards, to follow Him in the leadership of the Spirit with what He's going to do here. So, thanks so much. Guys, I'll talk to you soon.
Well, that's what it looks like, I know. But how do you know that what you see is all there is?